Two sides, two completely different stories. One says damage and loss, the other says it was never my fault. But in court, only one version survives.
The matter of Thomas Serino and Emily Stevens, I have received, this is a date and time set for a trial. I have received documentation from Ms. Stevens, and I believe I've also received some exhibits from Mr. Serino that look like a lease agreement and some pictures of the apartment. And then from Ms. Stevens, I've received also some pictures of the apartment purporting to show what it was when, or close to when she moved in, the damages and that sort of thing. And then some, looks like some text messages between Mr. Serino and herself, picture of some smoke alarms and damages to the house. All right, how are we to proceed today? Let me start with Mr. Serino. What do you think we need to do today, Mr. Serino?
Your Honor, Mr. Kuhn and I are seeking a judgment for $875 to cover the cost of damage, as well as missing items, broken mailbox, missing garage overhead door, smoke detectors, and general cleaning for a total of $875 plus costs.
All right, and Ms. Stevens, from your perspective, what are you seeking?
I'm just seeking, I guess, transparency and the condition of all those things, and I want the evidence that I didn't damage or remove doors or take those things to be considered as well, because they're not true.
All right, Mr. Serino, have you looked at her evidence?
I have not seen her evidence, Your Honor. Mr. Kuhn is here, and he did go into the house after she moved out, and he did all the repairs himself. And all these things that I've been mentioning are based on a exit damage report, which I typed up based on his report. The exit damage report is everything Mr. Kuhn did after she moved out. I have not been in the building since she moved out.
All right, Ms. Stevens, did you send a copy of your documentation to Mr. Serino?
No. I'm not aware. I didn't know I was needed to send him pictures and stuff. I can share my screen.
Well, it's hard to do a trial, and I get it that you guys are not attorneys and don't know how to do these things. So I'm aware of that. It's just hard to do a trial if the parties haven't talked to each other and if they haven't shown each other what the information is that they have, because then everybody's in the dark and nobody knows what the other side thinks that they know, and nobody can say, oh, I see that now, but here's my answer to that, because they don't have time to go research it or look it up or to get the evidence that is out there. So we're left with, I can tell you this, Judge, but I don't have the pictures of it, or I don't have the information of it, or somebody else knows it. So what I have then is lack of information on my side, and I'm supposed to be the one that's making a decision. So the general requirement is that both sides, if you send something to the court, you have to send it to the other side so that they have a chance to review it and can counter it if there's information available. So I'm somewhat reluctant to go forward today when neither side has seen what the other side has by way of information. Because when I first look at it, it looks to me, and again, I'm not trying to decide this ahead of time, but it looks to me like Ms. Stevens has some information that some of the stuff was damaged previously. And maybe I'm wrong, but it at least starts to look that way. And so I want to have Mr. Serino and Mr. Kuhn have an opportunity to look at that ahead of time and say, okay, but here's what is what really happened from our perspective. And I don't know that they'd have a proper chance to do that if I just go ahead today and say, let's just do it and get it done with. So I want to make sure that I'm fair to both sides. And I also want to give Ms. Stevens an opportunity to make sure that she knows exactly what Mr. Kuhn is going to testify to, because I didn't know that he did the work himself. I know that he's done some of that in other cases, but I didn't know that he did it in this case. So I want Ms. Stevens to be aware of what he knows ahead of time as well. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to set Mr. Kuhn, are you going to be going back down to Florida in the near future?
I live here now.
Your Honor, Miss Stevens has a copy of the exit damage report. She has had it.
I moved out in March 2025, and I did not hear a word about damages or get receipts or a list or anything until October, when I got delivered certified mail. So I did get a list by Mr. Kuhn with a list that some are doubled items. And it says on there that he didn't inspect it before I moved in. So I'm not sure how he decided what was broken by me. But in 7 months after I moved out, I never got this at all.
All right. So, Mr. Sereno, I see what you're calling it as the exit damage report that's got Mr. Kuhn's name down at the bottom of it. And it says exit damage report at the top, and a total of $875. Was there a initial walkthrough at the beginning of the lease?
Yes, sir. Yes, it was, Your Honor. And I took pictures the day before she moved in on October 31st. And I did provide those pictures.
So where is that document that says he did a walkthrough the day prior to the lease?
There is no document. I looked for it. There wasn't one, Your Honor. I couldn't find one.
But you say that there are pictures?
Yes, I provided those to Miss Good. I emailed them to her. And if you click on the picture and right click on the picture, it'll show you the properties, and it'll show you what date I took those pictures, which is up the day before she moved in. Showing no
pictures
damage.
Are those the pictures that you included with the lease agreement that I talked about before?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor.
So that's from before, not afterwards.
Before she moved in. Those pictures were taken on October 31st. And she has the exit. She just admitted that she does have the exit damage report.
Well, you guys want to have a hearing today, or do you want to postpone it and talk to each other?
If we postpone it, I have to come back down to Florida, and which I will do.
Well, we can get on Zoom. Mr. Kuhn can get on Zoom, or he can have somebody help him get on Zoom. He's got kids. They know how to do it.
I don't know how to do it. At 94, I'm probably not going to learn.
Where's your closest daughter?
Closest daughter is in
4 hours away.
Venice, which is about 200 miles away.
This is where cases fall apart. Not because of lies, but because of missing proof. No shared evidence, no clear timeline, and suddenly, even the truth starts to look uncertain.
All right. Ms. Stevens, do you want to go today?
I'd just like to make a mention that I've been renting in the Gaylord area. I, of course, lived there. I've been renting up there for 45 years. I had currently 3 places. And every time I have a renter leave, I have an opportunity to look at the house. I didn't in this case, but whenever they leave me or don't leave me, I put it all back in perfect shape. And if somebody new comes into the house to rent, they have an opportunity to walk through it with them. And if there's anything that they don't like, I can fix it. I always leave my places clean and safe. I leave them like I'd want them if I was gonna move in myself. So when she
All right.
moved in there,
Well,
she
let's hang on. You're gonna
Nice.
have a chance to testify, Mr. Kuhn, but let's hang on before we get the cart before the horse. Ms. Stevens, do you want to go have a hearing today?
Would I be allowed to play or show my photos or share my
Yes.
screen with the videos and stuff? I mean, I
Yes.
don't know what else I could get that would change what I have, so.
All right. We're on the record on this matter, right? All right. I'm going to have everybody sworn in at the same time, and we'll simply go from there. So if you all raise your right hands, please, so I can swear you in. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Ms. Stevens?
I do.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Kuhn?
Yes.
Mr. Serino?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead and put your hands down then. This is the Mr. Serino's matter. Mr. Serino, are you telling me that Mr. Kuhn did all the work himself, so you really don't need to testify a lot?
No, Your Honor. He was in Florida and he came up in June in preparation to sell the place, and he found it in disrepair, and he did all the work himself.
All right. Is there any other information before I go to Mr. Kuhn that you want me to be aware of, Mr. Serino?
No, I believe you have all the information I have right now, Your Honor.
All right. And
The pictures
the
you
documents that you sent me include a one-page lease agreement, which does not have a signature on it. And then actually it's a two-page, then it has an inspection checklist, which is not filled out. Are you
Right.
saying that that's an example of the lease agreement, or is that the actual lease agreement?
The lease agreement is just unsigned, Your Honor. I didn't include the original. I couldn't find the original because I might have sent it to Mr. Kuhn, but that's what the lease agreement looks like. That is the lease agreement. It's on the computer. It's just not signed because it was still on the computer. I printed it off.
All right. And then you're telling me that the 5 pictures that are attached to that were taken in October prior to the entry of the lease term. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And those show the condition of the house at issue just prior to or within days of the move-in by the defendant. Is that correct?
The day before, Your Honor, and when I took the pictures, I didn't notice any discrepancies. I would have noticed something if I was taking pictures.
All right. Ms. Stevens, you are entitled, let me do it this way. Mr. Serino, is there any other information that you want me to be aware of in regard to this case?
No, I think that the exit damage report speaks for itself, Your Honor.
All right, and the exit damage report was submitted along with your original documentation as a part of your complaint. Is that correct?
Not at the same time as the original complaint, Your Honor. I provided the pictures later.
Right, but the exit damage report itself was part of the complaint.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that documents what Mr. Kuhn did, and I'll talk to him about that, but that documents what Mr. Kuhn did and why he wants his 875 in response. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Stevens, you have the right to cross-examine Mr. Serino based on his testimony and ask him any questions that you want to ask. You will at a later time have the ability to present your own evidence, but do you have any questions for Mr. Serino at the moment?
Sure. I guess my first question I would like to ask is why or maybe just point out the garbage disposal is on the list of damages 2 times for $200 each. I just want to point out that error.
Well, why don't you ask a question as to why that's so, and then I'll get his response, and then we can go from there.
Okay. So I guess I'd like to ask why that's on there twice.
Mr. Serino, are you aware?
I would have to defer to Mr. Kuhn because he found the, is that in the exit damage report, Emily?
Yes, it says garbage disposal 200, and then below
Right,
that
yeah.
it says the kitchen incinerator 200.
I didn't, Mr. Kuhn took care of that.
All right, when we get to Mr. Kuhn, you can ask him that question. Any other questions that you have for Mr. Serino?
Yeah, I guess I'm curious why I didn't hear about this in March, April, May, June, July, or any time before October. And it took until after the last court session for me to hear about this all.
Primarily because Mr. Kuhn didn't do the work until he got back into Gaylord in June, and that took him, I don't know how long,
Good month.
a good month to do the work.
Okay. Because it seems like 7 months is a long time for me to be surprised by this. And I was also wondering, I guess that's the only questions I can think of right now. Unless I'm
All right.
allowed to ask more as they come up, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you will be, Mr. Kuhn is going to testify next. And if you have any additional questions, you can ask those of him. And then if you have specific testimony that you want to give, you'll be allowed to testify after that. So, all right, we'll move to Mr. Kuhn. Mr. Kuhn, from your perspective, why don't you tell me what it is that you did and why you believe that you're entitled to $875?
Well, I got a whole list of things that I did. The place was left quite dirty, for one thing. We had to do a lot of cleaning. My wife was with me. The oven had never been cleaned. It took 3 hours and 2 cans of product to clean the oven. The stove was a glass top stove. It was new when I put it in there. And something had been dropped on it along the edges. And it was all chipped up. I had to get some touch-up paint, clean that up. It looked better, but it wasn't brand new anymore. The garbage disposal was unplugged, and I didn't know why until I plugged it back in, and then I realized it was broken. So I unplugged it. I got a plumber over there, and he replaced it. In fact, he replaced it with a new one that somebody else had bought and gave me a good price on it. I just passed the price on to Ms. Stevens. And we repainted it all the way through. The smoke detectors in 4 rooms were all missing. Had to buy them. The closet doors were on 2-bedroom doors, and the laundry area in the kitchen, they were all down in the basement. And it looked like they'd been handled kind of rough. Somebody had opened up a can of blue paint in the basement, and apparently they had a cat, which the contract said no animals. The cat got into the paint, and there was blue paw prints all over the floor. I had to repaint the floor with 2 coats of paint. A lot of things that I did that I haven't put on the list. It just went on, and we finally got everything clean and got the replaced all of the things that were broken. I had a Lazy Susan in the kitchen. It was in perfect shape because it was a new cabinet when I put it in there. The Lazy Susan was missing. The cabinet outside is there, but the the shelving inside of it was all gone, out in the garage. And how that got out of there, I have no idea, because I couldn't figure out a way to get it back in there. The garage, from the time that she lived there, coming in and out of the garage with mud on the car, which we all get mud up there. The floor was so thick that I scraped it, and then I power washed it myself. And then the walls in there were damaged to the point where I painted it all by myself, furnished the paint and painted it, because when I turned my house over, I wanted it to look nice. And there was a back door missing. It was busted. It was standing in the garage, and it was broken, so I had to replace that. And I took probably 3 or 4 loads of just junk that was left in the house to the landfill. It didn't cost anything, but it takes a lot of time to do those things. So she didn't leave the house in very good shape for somebody that, when she went in there 2 years before that, or however long it was, she was excited about getting in there. I think she was probably, I don't know, trying to get away from a situation at home. But every time that she was late on payments, we had a clause in the agreement that it was $25 a day up to a maximum of $75.
Now it all comes down to credibility. Because without solid documentation, this isn't just about damages anymore, it's about who the judge believes.